G'day punters, kennym here. Another epic adventure episode. Oh, not so epic today. You got the 90 litre Engel out. Got everything out of the back of the canopy almost, the other Engel as well. No power supply. So a trick for punters who've got this 90F or upright angled chest freezer. If you're running it and you disconnect power or disconnect your earth from your battery, or change your battery while the fridge is running, you'll blow a diode and it won't work off 12 volts anymore. Still works off 240 volts. It'll cost you about 220 bucks to get that fixed. So that power supply is off getting fixed at the moment. What else is happening? Rightio, just recently since we had this transmission swapped over, there's USB power point there and there's a cigarette lighter adapter one. Neither of those work. I don't feel like pulling the center console out, so hopefully the wiring comes up back behind the dash and I can find out what the problem is there. But apart from that, these two USB points here don't work now either. And my air compressor switch no longer works either. I've got the lights on at the moment, so it should show like parking light on the compressor switch. So hopefully it's just hopefully that's an earth. And it's tied into those ones as well. These USB points actually plug into the back of the head unit, so hopefully the cable's just come loose there. So effectively I've got to pull this dash out here and have a look and see what I can find. What else is happening? It doesn't happen in twos. DC charger. You can see the little light, red light on the left hand side saying that it's got power there and it's set up for AGM gel. It's all good. Charges on solar power. Doesn't charge off vehicle 12 volts. Got the DC inputs and outputs over here. I've checked them out. There's a little relay here. It's a switch over relay between engine or vehicle 12 volts and solar. So when the ignition's off, it'll charge off solar, but when the ignition's on, it won't charge off solar, but it will only pick up off the vehicle. I suspect that there's like the dash, a bad earth, or a bad ignition switch power supply there, because the relay is not clicking over when you turn the ignition on. Yeah. So it's an electrical repair day today. Head unit out. Hate the wiring in behind here, it's just absolutely shit house. But anyhow, two USB points here, easy fix. Weren't plugged in. Deary me. Hopefully that's a sign that I'll make the rest of the work pretty easy. Well, I've got two USB power supplies sorted out. As I say, that was just plugged in the back of the head unit. These ones, couldn't find any wiring. And air compressor. As far as I could see, the switch is okay. I did change the plug on it. The other one was a bit dicky. So it's got to be some wiring issue between switch and compressor, which is in the canopy. There's a trigger wire, or two trigger wires on earth, and a power that run up into the canopy. So I suppose I've got to, I know there's earth, so I've got to follow that power wire all the way through to the canopy. I think I'm just about at the end of ARB air compressor one. Just removed all this wiring. There's joiners after joiners after joiners in it. Show you what we got now. That's the ARB switch there. Two wires, a couple of crimps, power and Parkers. Then we got, that's the positive out, positive to the compressor switch, negative, that's earth, to the compressor. See how it goes, eh? We'll just plug that in, we'll have a look. Tricks for players. Trips as well. Cutting out the ARB stuff, make sure you don't cut out the diodes. What's a diode? I'll show you very shortly. Probably nothing new for most of you, but battery voltage, direct current travels one way. Got the earth hooked up. Positive. Got battery voltage. Diode. Diode is just like a one-way valve. It prevents current travelling in one direction. Only allows current to travel in one direction. So I'll hook this up both ways and we'll see how it goes. Okay, got the diode on the positive there, holding the other end of the wiring of my thumb. Battery voltage. Swap it around. No 12 volties. Where are the diodes in the power system or the wiring system? That's the dash power supply. So we get power from the power supply into the switch through the diode. Won't get feedback through. We also need a diode in the 12 volt supply. So it's when the ignition's on. That's this wire here. So I've got to solder this diode back into this part of the loom. Bit of heat shrink on just to protect it. Have to do the same with the other one. Alright, we'll give this another crack. Diodes are in now. Bit of heat shrink on them. Console up. You can press the lights on. Stayed on. Turned off. Bastard. Well, it's probably a little bit more complicated than I first thought. That Parker light on the switch goes out once the ignition's into the on position. I checked the earth, which is this lead right here, goes up to the compressor, and when the ignition's off, there's earth. It's good continuity to earth. As soon as I put the ignition on, that opens circuits. I'm satisfied with all that. That wire just goes behind the dash, down the sill, up there, into the back here, and I don't know if you can see it, it's that little one right there, which goes up to this plug here. And I think there's a relay and stuff up inside there. So it's going to be an ARB job, I think. You're going to have a look at that for me. BCDC 25 red arc. It's a pretty old one. It's just crossover relay here. Got some loose wires on there. Solar input is the center pin there. Output is that one there. So I'm just checking to make sure we've got continuity across those. It'd be just replicating as if we're just parked up and ignition isn't on. Yep, continuity. Wires I've got there, just to make sure that the relay is actually clicking over. Let's see if we can get this working. You might hear it. It's working. So what I want to do now is check that there's continuity between that pin and that pin when the relay is activated. So I need to actually hook these up. It's got the multimeter off the side from here, you might be able to hear it if we got continuity across these pins. So that tells me the relay's working. And I know it's charging off solar, which is that center pin and the output. So I've obviously got a bad earth or a bad ignition power supply to the relay. So I've got to chase that down. Which on these things is a pain in the ass. And you've just seen the wiring looms on these. That's it, effectively there. It goes up in the back of the BCDC charger. The electrical problem I was having up on the center console is a bad earth for those USB and cigarette lighter adapters. I took it back to DiffTrans Queensland, who installed this transmission for me, and they chased it down to a bad earth. The wiring's up in there. I'm not sure if you can see it. It's It's up there anyhow, and those two auxiliary power points now are working, which is fantastic. Towards the end of this video now, yeah, got the fridge back in. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that if you have your battery disconnected while the fridge is running, I've been told that a diode in the power pack in the back, I'll show you where it is. I won't show you the diode because it's in the circuit board. It's that box there. The diode blows, and it'll cost you $220 to $250 to get fixed. So the fix to that was never disconnect your battery whilst the fridge is running. If the fridge is running off the battery, you're disconnecting or changing. Turn off the fridge always. I was also advised to put in a separate power circuit for it as well. I had it previously doubled up with the Travel Buddy oven, and in that little block there you can just see there's 4 blade fuses in there, 2 20 amps and 2 10 amps, or there were 2 20s and 2 10s. There's now 4 10s in there. I've also wired in a separate MIDI fuse holder there. That's for this fridge now, 10 amps. So it runs on a completely different circuit to the fuse block that's over there. And that fuse box, as I say, has 4 blade fuses in it, all 10 amps, to run the compressor, Starlink, the Travel Buddy oven, and small Engel. Now the 90 litre fridge also has a 10 amp fuse, and it's located in that little box there, a little Phillips head screwdriver, and it's just a little blade screwdriver. And the Engel has a separate fuse apart from that blade fuse, which is located in there. It's a fusible link. Got a couple of spares for that. So that sorted out the fridge. Air compressor and BC-DC charger. I'm just going to show you an extract of a photo of when I was doing some testing here in the engine bay with a relay, and I picked up a bit of vision of this battery, the auxiliary battery, which runs all that sort of stuff. In that picture you'll see there was 1 earth lead on the battery. Why the BC-DC charger wasn't working and the air compressor wasn't working is because the earth between this battery and this battery was disconnected. The other earth lead goes to a shunt, which is located down there, which all my accessories are hooked up to, so that I can measure the current draw and charge and stuff. So I was trying to, everything was trying to run an earth through existing appliances, which wasn't working very well, particularly for the BC-DC charger and the air compressor. So they're both working now, and that little switch that I did a bit of vision on, it working as advertised as well, which is all cool. So there's a lesson to be learned. That battery was swapped out by RACQ on our way back from south quite a few months ago, and just relied on them hooking up all the leads, and they didn't check everything. You just have to.